Hello, I'm Matt, and I'm back again with how to make a web page tutorial part 6, and it's more of a CSS tutorial really, but it does involve some HTML. So remember from the last video that we have our CSS in here, but say we wanted multiple web pages to have the same CSS, and say you need 1,000,000 pages, even though you may revert to another web language, which I'll make probably another tutorial about. And so you needed to make 1,000,000 web pages, but you had only a limited amount of space. And of course, how can you fit 1,000,000 web pages into a limited amount of space? Well, if your site uses a lot of styling, this CSS will take up a bunch. And if you see down here, this takes up 257 characters, or a little over 250 bytes, about 260 bytes maybe, with all the line endings. And so that 200 times 1,000,000 is, well, essentially 200 million. So you'll have 200 million bytes, which is over 200 megabytes of extra space taken up if you take this page and you copy it 1,000,000 times. But there is a way to, I'm sorry, this tutorial is a little slow today, but there is a way to make it so it's not so it's not taking up so much space, and that's by putting the CSS in a separate file. So if we cut and paste, you see that we have our CSS in this file, and if we save that, we put it in here, we should save it as CSS cascading style sheets file. And how about style.css? And so you can save it in a separate file. You can save all your CSS in a separate file, eliminating the need for the style tag. But how do we get all those styles into our web page? Because if you look right now, you see that our web page doesn't have any styles in it. And that's bad, right? Yes, it is. So, alright. So, to include our style in here, we need to use the link tag. And you think the link tag, oh, why don't they just use the link tag for links? Well, like I explained before, it's the anchor sort of aspect of it, where you anchor something into a page, where it's an anchor to a page. And so the link tag is basically connecting another file to this file, which is linking them together. So that means we need that other file to be dependent so we can have our HTML file rendered correctly. So then we put in the rel attribute, and I think rel is for relation. And so style sheet, we're using a style sheet, a cascading style sheet to be exact. And then type is text/CSS, no, or MIME type. And then href, just like in the A tag for hyperlinks, we put in a location. And so style.css, and remember that this is an indirect link, which means that if you move this to a different website, if there was a file named style.css, it would use that file instead of our file that we have right here. And so if we save and refresh, ta-da, here are all our atrocious styles that we made in the last video. And so that's the first part of our video. And also, you can also use the link tag for JavaScript, which I haven't exactly figured out yet. So script, the link rel script, type equals text/JavaScript, which I will explain in the next video, I know that. and then href equals, I don't know, script.js, which is the file extension for our JavaScript. And so then you'd usually be able to access all the files in there, but I've had a lot of trouble with that, so just don't use it yet. I'll show you another way to embed JavaScript in the web page in the next video, though. And so now time for the meta tags, or the meta tags, or the meta tags, or whatever kind of tag you like to call it. So remember how it sends meta information like this. It sends the content type, which gives it what set of characters it uses, but you can also use name instead of HTTP equiv. And so usually meta tags are used to send HTTP headers, which is information about the file that is being received. And so if we have meta name, how about keywords, which is a common one, and then content equals, and then our same little content attribute we have here as we have here. And so then our content could be test CSS web page. And so what the meta with the name of keywords works for is that it gives keywords, and search engines such as Google will read these keywords and then index your page just as you have it here. Just as you have them here, like it'll index it via, I'm really mangling my words today. It'll index your web page under test, CSS, web, and page. And then if we use the meta name of keywords, or actually I already did keywords, description, and then content equals a test web page using CSS. And so that basically also helps with search engine visibility, where when your site pops up in search engine results, the page, you know how there's like a link and then there's a little description? A test web page using CSS will show up as that little description. And then of course meta name equals author, and you can put content equals Matt's YouTube or Matt's YouTube channel, whatever it is. And so if we send it, and note that you won't see these. You don't see the meta tags. You only see anything like with the style sheet. If the styles apply to your document, then you'll see it in there, and also with scripts, if it applies to your document, you'll see it in there. So this was a relatively shorter video, and also I'm a little tired today, and it's been a while since I did the videos. So I'll see you in the next video on HTML tutorials part 7, how to do JavaScript.